There are different forms of property ownership, and each determines the legal rights and obligations of the owners. Those rights and obligations vary depending on the number of owners or the type of property. Let's take a look at some common types of tenancy. This is Kyle and Mary. They recently married and purchased a condominium in the city. This is an example of tenancy by entirety, which is a form of ownership by a married couple where the union is considered one unit rather than two individuals. They share equal ownership and obligation to the property as a married couple. Neither Kyle nor Mary can sell or transfer their ownership as individuals. This is Janine and this is Calandra. They are best friends. They've always dreamed of owning a house near the ocean and were finally able to when they both retired. Janine contributed 40% of the purchase price of the property, while Calandra contributed the remaining 60%. Although Calandra paid more for and owns a larger share of the property, the women have an equal right to use and enjoy the entire home. Years later, when Janine passed away, her will granted her nephew, Ethan, her ownership interest in the property. This is an example of a tenancy in common, which is an undivided ownership of real estate by two or more persons, in which individual ownership shares can be sold or transferred. Walter, Bill, Sam, and Dan are brothers. They own equal 25% shares of a fishing cabin on Eagle's Nest Lake. If one of the brothers dies, his share of ownership will be divided among the remaining brothers, making them each one-third owners. This is an example of joint tenancy, a form of ownership by individuals who have an undivided, equal interest in property. Upon death of a joint tenant, the interest passes to the surviving joint tenants, rather than to the heirs of the deceased. Joint tenancy may also be referred to as joint with rights of survivorship. While similar to tenancy in common, joint tenants must obtain the property at the same time, must appear on the same deed, and must own equal shares of the property. So, those are the three common types of tenancy: tenancy in entirety, tenancy in common, and joint tenancy.